Did y'all watch this Shay Shay interview with Amanda Seales? I got so many mixed feelings because some people were saying that she was justified in the way that she feels and how she's speaking, all these kind of things. And that's fair, right? She's an opinionated person. She's a strong-minded person. She's well educated. She's all of these things. The problem that I was having with her is that I think she mentioned that she had Asperger's. And then there's this thing that, and I know people like that they have to kind of like, they gotta know it all, and they gotta prove themselves, and it's bundled up in a lot of insecurity, and is accompanied with some sensitivity. So she cries when she feels like, you know, people don't know her, like her, understand her, welcome her, etc., and so forth. It's like all of these things that accompany this Asperger's. I was reading that they stand close to people. They don't understand social cues. They don't understand distance. They don't understand certain words and scenarios. So like she was saying, she was about to get into a fight, and she didn't know that she was getting into a fight. And so it's a lot of things, right? People like her, like I said, I know someone like that who will be like, do you know what kind of tree that is? That's an oak leaf tree. You know why it's called an oak leaf tree? It's because and do you know who discovered that tree? And you know what regions they grow in? And I'm just like, girl, bitch, Miss Honey, I don't care. Nobody cares about that tree. Nobody cares about that tree. But it's great that you know everything about that tree and about every other subject that exists in life. You would sweep the board at Jeopardy, but nobody gives a shit. And so she's one of those people, and so she's hyper fixated on the black culture, racism, etc., and so forth, which I understand. When you go to school, you have a study, right? And that was her study. That's her mastering. That's what she's learned. That's what she does. We love that. The thing that I could not stand about her, and I love her because I was very much so pro, yes, it is a level of autism. I was pro Amanda Seales because she was so pro-black. She spoke her mind. And we all love people that speak their mind until they speak their mind on some shit that affects us, or some shit that offends us or addresses us. And so she kept speaking, and she kept speaking, and she kept speaking. And by the time that Shannon Sharp would give any rebuttal, any offering of a different opinion or anything like that, she would shut him down and call him combative. When you're having a conversation with somebody, if you're telling a story, and your story is a summation of an event, no concrete facts. You just feel like, if I'm telling you a story and I say, well, I held the door open for a white lady and she didn't say thank you, and that's overt racism. That's what I feel. It doesn't mean it's real, but that's what I feel. I might have held the door open for her and she didn't say thank you because she's deaf, or any she could have just had a tooth pulled. It could have been a million reasons as to why this lady didn't say thank you. But all I know is she didn't say thank you, and per my experience in my past, I'm going to associate this with racism. Now, in every scenario, it may be either or. We don't know. But it's a assumption that this is what it is without a definite answer. So she was recalling certain stories in her life where she assumed the action of the people involved. And when you're having a conversation, there's going to be some banter back and forth. Okay, you're telling me your story, but what if it's not, you know, as you're assuming, what if the assumption is the opposite of what you're assuming? And she could not stand the fact that he gave her any rebuttal in what she assumed she understood, because her fixation over a lifetime has been the mistreatment of black people, and most certainly her as a black woman, that her studies had her so deep into believing that everything is centered around race. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a lot, yeah, we're talking about Amanda Seales. There is a lot of racism that still exists and probably won't ever go nowhere. But every situation, every encounter with another race is not going to stem from racism. And so I felt a little like, okay, she's really throwing up the race card, and I get the climate we're in and we've been in, but everything is not about race. Now, even if it is or if it's not, the fact is Shannon was having a conversation with her. And if Shannon is having a conversation with her, then he's going to throw out certain objections about certain things because it's a two-way conversation. It's going to help him understand. It's going to help her understand. There's many perspectives to a story, most certainly when you don't have any definites. So she winds up saying, basically, you keep cutting off my experiences as if they're not real, and you keep becoming combative about the things that I've experienced. What I've learned from a narcissist is that a narcissist will tell you that your feelings aren't real, your thoughts aren't real in comparison to the reality that they have composed. And they'll call you combative and argumentative because you have an opinion that's different from theirs. So what she said to him was, you keep becoming combative with me about my experiences, and you're not having an open mind enough to understand what I'm telling you to be the truth. Which is literally the same thing that she was doing to him. She was super combative from the gate. When he opened his mouth and gave her this rundown of all of the titles that she wears because she's multifaceted. And he says something like, you were, I guess you were a little nervous or something. And she already came out, I wasn't nervous. You don't know me. I wasn't nervous. And I'm like, you're coming out the gate combative. There's one thing, when somebody can sit down and tell you, I've had a life of being bullied, bitch, why? Why have you had a life of being bullied? I can see if you were bullied by one person, right? You were bullied by a parent or sibling, a family member, a neighbor. It was a consistent bullying from one person. But you've been bullied in every situation you've been in. You've been bullied in school. You've been bullied in sports. You've been bullied in workplaces. You've been bullied everywhere you've gone. So logically, I can't imagine that everywhere you go, there's a person or two or 5 or 20 who just want to pick shit with you. Especially when you back it up and say, I am who I am. Then that means you lack an understanding of exactly who you are and how you offend. Now, what she said was, at one point she said she apologized to somebody, and I think she might have apologized to him. I can't remember. But she said, I apologize because that wasn't my intent. And as adults, and somebody like her who says she's very emotionally intelligent, I'm very emotionally intelligent, then you should be able to tap in and understand that when you apologize, your intent means jack shit. I did not intend to offend you does not erase the offense. The apology is, I offended you, and I apologize that I offended you. Whether I believe what I said or did was offensive to you at all, the fact is you and your feelings and your emotions and your life and your understanding and what all of that looks like to you was offended by what I said or done. And because I did not intend to offend you, that's the reason I'm now going to apologize for offending you. But I'm not going to justify it by saying, but that wasn't my intent. The understanding is that wasn't your intent. So you don't have to reiterate that. But at the fact that you're saying it wasn't my intent, you're negating the fact that you own any ownership in being offensive. Apologies never come with a justification. Apologies never come with an and or but or because. Oh, I apologize, but if you had not, I apologize. And I just want to say for future, no, I apologize. Point blank, period. And she did not offer that. That let me understand that her understanding was off. to be emotionally intelligent, to be highly, because she said highly, and I emphasize on highly because she speaks very highly of herself. And I get that. I get that. She's well accomplished. She's done amazing. She's probably done more things than some of us. We won't even do half of some of the things that she's accomplished in a lifetime. And that's great for her. But when you claim to be one because you're on the spectrum, you claim to be a know-it-all, and you have the understanding here, and people like that, because I know people like her, you're heavily book intelligent. You know what you've read. You know what you study. When you tell the world you have an issue with understanding social cues, then that means you don't know how you're socializing with people. And you don't know how you are offending people, because you don't know how to socialize with people. So that means you have a void in your emotional intelligence when it comes to people. So how the fuck can you be emotionally intelligent but also have a very off-putting social understanding that you don't even know when you're getting into fights? You don't know when someone is being sarcastic. You don't know when you don't understand social cues. How can you be socially responsible? So like a true narcissist who wants to keep talking about themselves, as she did, and I get it, it's her interview, but she had no interesting story. Every story was about her being bullied. If the story did not begin or end with her being bullied, it began or end with how she's so superior in this particular area of study or work. So she attacked him because he had an opinion that was opposite of hers. Then she crucified him and made him out to be the problem, to the point in which, and he sometimes stutters, he started stuttering hard. So as a narcissist, when they call you out on your shit, it's to make you look like the aggressor so that you will back down. So during a lot of that interview, he was fishing for an area to get in with her so they can get back on the same page so that she would be open with him. What she did was emotional abuse. She furthered that when he tried to offer an understanding, and she sat there and she shut down and she did this. Then he asked her another question to pull her out of that trance. And you could see it in her face. It took her a second, because whatever she was saying in her head was showing on her face. And she said, oh, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And it was almost like a spark went off that she realized, oh, this is a moment for me to talk about me. And she lit up because she had a moment to talk about her. As a narcissist, when they attack you and make you feel like your thoughts, your opinions, because they're opposite of their understanding, that they're wrong and that you're the aggressor, they call you out so that you will back down. So now she has him on eggshells because he doesn't know what's the thing that's going to set her off. And we know that because during the interview, he says to her, he wanted to give her a different opinion to what she was providing. And he caught himself and he read back to her what she said to him. Well, I don't want to say that because if I say that, then you're going to feel like I'm attacking what your truth and what your story is. And I don't want to come off as combative. It's crazy because a narcissist will groom you. And that's what she was doing. She didn't want him to become argumentative or combative. What she wanted him to do was to submit to listen to her story the entire time that she talked about herself and the entire time that she surmised what she thought the prescription or the diagnosis, I should say, to the situation was. And that set me off because I've dealt with quite a few narcissists in my life. It set me off because now it allowed me to understand why she's so passionate about the things that she's passionate about. Yes, it is a fight for humanity. Yes, it is a fight for our race and for our culture and for the protection and the equality of all of these things. But also it is a moment for you to show off how brilliant and smart you are. And for you to run down a lifetime of bullying when you're sitting here bullying this man, and probably have bullied everybody in every situation that you've been in because you believe that you're far superior in intelligence than anybody else in the room. I am studied. I'm a brilliant actress. But then you have the nerve to be all of these prickly fucking things. But you're sensitive. And I could cry. And it really hurts me. Of course it hurts you. Because all of this is a defense mechanism, sweetheart. All of this is a defense mechanism. The moment somebody objects to what you have to say, and if they stand on the objection instead of submitting to you, the irony of a black woman with white women tears, you're crying white girl tears as your defense. And you're pro-black, but you're using white girl's tears. The moment somebody objects to what you have to say, now you feel like you're being attacked, Amber. You're attacking me, Amber. When I can't shove this down your throat, it's now you're attacking me. So now she feels attacked. In the defense of being attacked, you don't seek understanding. You're going to cry. You're going to cry. So you're going to employ tears because you could not force someone to understand, see, visualize, hear, taste, feel, smell the way you wanted them to. Bitch, you bullshit. You bullshit. You're bullshit. And I was reading the comments on YouTube, and everyone was like, she's so opinionated, and she's such a strong black woman. She's all of those things in the area of African American studies and the lecturing of such. She's all of those things. I think she's a great representative when it comes to those things. You ever know somebody who their niche is where they excel and they suck everywhere else? She's one who her niche excels in the area of performance when it comes to her being in the spotlight. But when it comes to her interacting with people off set, she doesn't know the impact of what she says, what she does. And she kept saying, it's my tone. It's my tone. People say it's my tone because you want to force the shit down people's throats. And you don't want to give any space for room, understanding, compromise, no open-mindedness. And then you have the audacity to project and then shift blame. You're blame shifting with this motherfucker, telling him he's the problem when really it's you. It was so cringy watching her talk for an hour about how everybody in the world has bullied her, outcasted her, etc. and so forth. And it's all because I just showed up. Girl, it's not just because you showed up. Then she spoke about this, I guess, elusive feud or non-acknowledgement of a feud with Issa Rae and her publicist. The publicist had a problem with Amanda. She didn't like her. She got her kicked out of the Black Emmys party and all these kind of things. And Issa Rae, being her boss at the time of them doing Insecure, Issa Rae was not stepping in saying, girl, you know, da-da-da-da, to either one of the females, Amanda or Vanessa. Vanessa's her Issa Rae's publicist. She wasn't addressing the situation with either one of them. She wanted to stay out of it. And I'm going to say, you know, Amanda was like, that's not black women. That's not how black women do it. Issa Rae talks about black women empowerment. And that's not how you empower. Okay, first of all, Issa Rae did what a lot of us should do, which was mind her fucking business. I don't want to get into the feud of this. This is my publicist over here who's doing business for me. And you're an actress over here who's doing business for me. And honestly, y'all need to really work that out. But here's the gag. The gag is, I don't think Issa Rae fucked with her either. And I don't think Issa Rae fucked with her, which is why she did not say, at least to her publicist, you got to figure out why you don't like her and get over it, because I do business with her and I do business with you, and this is just unprofessional. Issa Rae didn't say that to either party. In fact, what Issa Rae said was, y'all need to talk. Y'all need to figure it out. So I feel, because I can't tell you with any certainties, that Issa Rae didn't like her. She said she took Issa Rae out to dinner, and Issa Rae said, well, I felt like you had a problem with me. And then she said, well, I felt like you had a problem with me. And then she said, Issa Rae says to her, well, I guess I was looking at you like your character. So she wants to give us this point of view that Issa Rae was judging her and treating her a certain kind of way because of the character that Amanda Seales played on Insecure. I just can't for a moment think that, as is even Amanda said, this is the character you created. Like, how could you think I would? I can't believe for a moment that Issa Rae was confused between the reality of who Amanda Seales is and this fictional character. I won't allow myself to wrap my head around that. In fact, what I believe what it was is that sometimes in life, people fit roles because they fit roles. And this bitchy, standoffish, or over-opinionated, friendless character that she played on Insecure was a true manifestation of who she is in real life, which is why she was able to master the role. So now you're basically playing yourself in a character. So I don't think it was off for Issa Rae to look at her and divide such a difference between the character and the person. Sitting and watching the interview on Shay Shay with her allowed me to understand within moments that you're abrasive. So you want me to sit here and believe that in every scenario in your life, people have just decided to pin themselves against you just because they just want to bully? Every situation, every job, every event in your life, are you really telling me that that's what it was? That it's everybody else and not you? People who make the world look crazy are typically the ones who are the crazy one, because they want everybody to adapt to the reality that they live in. And the reality that they live in is not reality for the rest of the world. So Amanda rubbed me the wrong fucking way. And she gaslit the shit out of Shannon. She blame shift the shit out of Shannon. She made him shut up. She made him stutter hard. She made him back down from giving her any difference of an opinion. And then she accused him of being closed-minded and accused him of being combative when she was that way the entire time. The thing about a narcissist is that you can't tell them shit because they've already figured it out. And they figured it out because it's their plan. And if you don't abide by their plan, I'm going to attack you in any way I see fit. She don't know that man personally, and she has a reputation to uphold. So she's not going to attack his personal life. Now, out on the street, maybe. But during this interview, she has enough sense, because it's about her, to find a weak spot and attack him in that weak spot. And that weak spot is, you're disagreeing with me. And how dare you give me an opposite of an opinion? You're combative. Not you're having a conversation, a two-way street. You're combative. Girl, I was going to say you lost a fan, but I was never a fan. I was never a fan. I'm a supporter of your activism, but I was never a fan. And for a while, I had been hearing people saying that she's the problem, and from my lack of understanding of who she is and lack of research about what she really does and how she really carries herself, I was on team Amanda Seales. I'm like, they don't like her because she, she's strong and she opinionated. They don't like her because she da-da-da-da-da-da. But after that interview, I'm like, bitch, if I met you, I don't think I would like you either. And let me retract that. I'm not going to say if I met you, I don't think I would like you either. I take that back. If I met you, I certainly would not like you. Certainly, without doubt, not like her. Because she's not going to let you get your opinion across. She's not going to allow you to speak long enough. She's not going to give you any validations to your feelings unless they are in accordance to what she feels. And those kind of people are narcissists. And those kind of people will make you feel small. Those kind of people will make you feel stupid. They will make you out to be crazy, to be the aggressor. And you will walk and talk on eggshells whenever you're around them because you don't want to look like the aggressor they're claiming you to be. And so how fun is that? To sit around somebody and be on mute because you're worried about hurting their feelings. You're worried about expressing your feelings and how those feelings might trample on somebody else's. And you've done nothing wrong. You're not saying anything wrong. You just have a thought. You just have an opinion that's different from theirs. But you have to stay on guard to protect them. Girl, eat shit. Did y'all watch it? Did y'all see it? Did y'all watch the interview? Because it was far too much for me. She was elevated the entire time. She was shutting down on him when she ain't like what the fuck he had to say or any questions to ask. And I just saw someone post a little while ago. He was like, so your mother's white. My mother's not white! Why does everybody keep saying that? Okay, I'm sorry. Your father was white. My father is not white! Okay, it was an error. I highly doubt that Shannon Sharpe is the one doing this research. I'm sure, I'm certain he has a team that has put all of these things together on cards for him to read. And so, shame on his team because they got it wrong. Or, bravo, queen. You found a way to piss her off. But either way you look at it, the interview was completely unbalanced. And it was, thus far, my least favorite guest that has been on his show. And I ain't seen a lot of them. I didn't see a lot of clips, though. But I really had to make sure I watched that one because I don't like it. So now I'm curious. I want to DM comment and be like, hey, what y'all talking about? Then she mentioned a few other people she messed with, rappers. And she's like, you know, my catalog, my catalog. Bitches always be like, niggas always be like, my catalog, my catalog. Your catalog, girl, but where your man at? Your catalog shows that you can't keep one. And it's no shade to her because a lot of us ain't in a relationship. I'm not in a relationship. But your catalog is so above it all. Why don't they stay? I'm just curious. Can we run notes? Can we compare notes? I just want to know. I'm certain she'd say they were the problem and not her. But that ain't my business. Let me get into some of these comments and see what y'all talking about. All right. So let me go back to some of the meats. When I see the meat show up here in paragraphs. So let me find these paragraphs. All right. A narcissist's only goal is to destroy you. Absolutely. And they say if you engage with the narcissist, studies have shown, if you engage with the narcissist, you have a 60% chance of being sucked into their to their game, into their bullshit. And so the best way to deal with the narcissist is to not deal with the narcissist. If you know what narcissism sounds like, feels like, if you don't, go read up on it. Matter of fact, there's a book called The Dark Triad, and it speaks about sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists. Go read the book. If you're like me, get the audiobook. I drive a lot. I listen to audiobooks a lot. That will definitely help you understand the difference between the three disorders. And, child, she's a narcissist. And a Machiavellinist. So those are people like Hitler. Like you don't share my belief, something's wrong with you. So I have to attack you. And sometimes what they'll do is when you don't share their belief, they'll attack you either on a personal level, you're a faggot, you're Chinese, or you're bow-legged. They'll find some personal attack, and or they'll attack your spirituality. Oh, well, God, I don't understand, because God wouldn't approve of what you say and do. God wouldn't do that. I'm confused, because who do you worship? Because I can't understand where your spirituality comes from. Your heart seems impure. They will attack you on multiple levels because they're trying to make you feel less than. A narcissist more so wants to not necessarily attack you, but they will attack you. But it's more or less because they want the attention. So they'll cut you down. A narcissist would be the type of person to be like, oh, I cannot stand her. All she does is talk about herself. Meanwhile, bitch, you just been sitting here talking about yourself for the last 2 hours. So your attempt is to cut down everything around you in order for you to get the light. The Machiavellianist wants to cut down your thoughts, your opinions, your everything about everything, because I'm trying to sway you to feel and think how I do. So go read up on it. But if you engage with a narcissist, 60% of the time, they're going to pull you into their shit. And so the best way to engage with a narcissist is not to. They want to toy with your emotions. They want to get a rise out of you. Because once they get you up here, they take that energy from you. They need to know that I've provoked you. That's why you'll see these people get really quiet after you get pissed off and angry. They'll pretend like they don't understand you. They'll pretend like they didn't hear you. They'll pretend like they didn't do or say what they did or said. And they'll wait for you to lose your cool. They might even attack you first, loud, and be in your face and give you all of this while you're calm. But the moment the energy shifts and you're now up here, they're going to come all the way down here and say shit like, what's wrong? Why are you acting like that? Are you okay? Do you need, should we pray? What's going on with you? What? Or they'll get quiet and they'll laugh at you. I don't know. Why you acting like that? Because they've now had their dose of pissing you the fuck off. And they're satisfied. So don't engage with a narcissist by not engaging with a narcissist. Trey's storybook says she's perpetuating the new trend of black women trying to shut down the perspective of black men. Anything that black men don't agree with is looked at as oppositional. Absolutely. I think it's that, but then I think it's also, it's anybody's opinion that does not agree with her. She just does not want to be. She studied so much. She's learned so much. And like she said, she had an insecurity about all of that. She's been suicidal. She's been all of these kind of things. So she's living under the spirit of perfectionism as well, where everything I say and do has to be right. And it has to be right because I've supported it with enough facts that you can't dismay shit that I'm saying to you. But also a lot of her shit is based on feelings. But I think she has it confused between book smart and emotional intelligence, that she feels I'm just superior on everything that I do because it's going to be hard for you to prove me wrong. And at the point of which you find my flaw, I'm going to say you're attacking me. And from attacking me, I'm going to cry. Because now everyone around me see that you've made me cry. I can't recount what I said or what you said to everyone verbatim because maybe I don't remember, or maybe they won't hear, maybe they won't understand, maybe they won't get it. But what they will understand are these tears. And he said, I just can't believe that you're attacking me like that and you're being combative. People understand tears. You're crying white girl tears. The very thing that you're anti, which is racism and white privilege, you're using woman privilege by being the woman who's going to cry because her feelings have been hurt. She's going to cry right here on the spot. Girl, you're a crock of shit. Crock of bullshit. Let me scroll through here some more. I remember I used to work at Nordstrom. For some of you who do or do not know, I'm a licensed cosmetologist, have been for over a decade. And when I got about halfway through with cosmetology school, I became a brow technician and a makeup artist. I was doing lashes. I was doing all of these things. I started doing lace fronts, started doing all these things. I'm one of the original pioneers of lace fronts. And I was working at Nordstrom for Anastasia Beverly Hills doing brows. Loved it. Made a lot of money. And I moved over to Chanel. And I had a coworker who worked at the counter with me. If y'all don't know retail works on hourly plus commission, depending on where you work. And so we shared counters with Chanel, Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, and Kiehl's. And the Kiehl's girl, grown woman, mother of two, old bitch who like fucking niggas, she would like to sell Chanel items. Why? Because Chanel items are marked up higher, so that means your commission rate on those products are higher. So if I turned my back for too long, she would take a product that someone was looking for and walk it to her side of the counter so I couldn't see it, so that she could check it out, instead of rightfully directing them to the person who works for Chanel. So she did it once, she did it twice, she did it the third time, and I had to let her know, hey, this is not cool. That was the second time. The third time she did it, I took us to the manager. So I said, I got a problem because I've asked her not to do this before and she's doing it. It's not that I'm absent, it's that she's stealing. That's stealing. And so she goes, okay, I'll talk to her. Well, I come back because I want to find out when we're going to have this conversation. It's near lunchtime. Well, she's already in the office talking to the manager and she's crying. And so I step in and then the manager goes, oh, you know, perfect timing, come on in, whatever. And we sit down and she goes, so what's going on? So I tell her what the scenario was. And here's the white girl, Samantha, literally her name is Samantha. We called her Sam. I don't know where he's coming from with that and how when he feels like I've been stealing from him, because I would never do that. And today has been a hard day and my head hurts and my daughter just got a call from my daughter's school and they need me to come get her because she's gotten into some trouble and it's just been a lot going on and I was late coming to work today and it's just so much going on. And I sat there and I said to her, girl, your tears are not working. I don't understand. I said, but you're crying. Why are you crying? We all go through a lot of stuff every day. Do you think I wanted to be here no more than you want? I didn't want to be here no more than you wanted to be here. I'm hungry. I'm ready to go to lunch. You're stealing from me. I would rather not be in here talking about this. What are we really doing here? I wouldn't steal from you. That's not who I am. So the manager, she explains, look, there's a new boss coming in. Whatever y'all got going on, y'all need to work it out, because the new big boss who's coming in, if he comes in here and sees this issue between the two of you, somebody's going to lose their job. And she's looking at me while she's saying this. So later on in that day, she comes to me, she doesn't come to me. I go up to HR. Now, my immediate manager, who I'm talking about, I don't know where she is. I don't know, some Kim Kardashian blend of a woman. And then the white girl who's stealing from me. So I go up to HR, and the HR is black. So I sit down, and she goes, what's going on? And I tell her the scenario. And she goes, but what did your manager say? And I said, she basically told me to get over it, that there's a new manager coming, and somebody's going to lose their job. And she was looking at me the entire time she said it with a lot of attitude. I said, so this is, you can keep this on the books or off the books, but can I be real with you? And she said, yeah. I said, she made me feel like a fucking nigga. She made me feel like the nigga in the fucking room. So her and I went downstairs to the manager's office. She said, wait right here. She went upstairs and she talked to the manager. She came back down and she says, you're good to go back to your counter. About 10-15 minutes later, here comes my manager. Clearly has been crying. She comes to me and goes, I want to apologize to you because I didn't want you to feel a certain kind of way about the meeting we had, but I just kind of expected that you would get over it because you're a man. You wanted me to be okay with someone literally stealing money out of my pocket and making me out to be whatever, washing this shit away with white girl tears. Then you had the audacity to threaten me and my position by telling me that somebody was going to get fired if the situation wasn't resolved, but you wouldn't be a woman or a boss or a manager and work out the situation so that nobody would lose their job. And in fact, all of us could be in a comfortable situation. You couldn't do that. So let's bring this all full circle. Them fucking white girl tears are a trip. I don't know if they bottling this shit up and putting it on Amazon. Maybe I need to start a storefront on Amazon of just white girl tears. But these white girl tears, to me, don't matter jack shit. So Amanda Seales, with these white girl tears, put me back in that situation. That when you can't explain away your actions, because there's no real justification outside of the truth, which is you're in the wrong, you want to employ some fucking white girl tears, and you think these fucking white girl tears is going to wash away the problem. They don't. They don't. And so, Amanda Seales, I wanted so bad to like you, girl. I did. I promise you I did. And I still do. But I just find that hard. Knowing how she presents herself. And I get, we only get a dose of people. But it was like an hour and some change of the same, or longer, of the same dose. It's only but so many doses I need to know. So many doses I need to take to understand. You the problem, girl. Let me scroll through these comments some more. The interview was almost unwatchable because Miss Shasta was so fucking clueless. I don't know what a lot's the fool. I don't know what that means. Did go over his head. Oh, you saying a lot of stuff did go over his head. He gives good banter. I think he gives a good interview, and I think it's mainly because he's interviewing very interesting people. I'm not going to say he's the brightest individual, but I'm not going to say he's not. He's far from stupid. He's far from stupid. But certain scenarios that he's in, you can kind of see where he's kind of tapped out. And I want to say in this interview, I don't think he tapped out. I think if anything, her accusing him of being combative on his show, accusing a black man of his size and stature, it was all of the combination, and it's business. So he doesn't want to blow up during an interview. He doesn't want to say, girl, fuck you, you on my show during an interview. And he doesn't want her to storm off set. All of this is unnecessary controversy, and in the wrong hands of a publicist, he attacked her and she left. He attacked her and she ran. That's the story she gonna spin. And media might spin. But if you listen to her, she's telling you how she lost jobs because of her personality and the things that people have said about her, the experiences. And that's the thing. People say, like her, they say I'm difficult to work with. People don't just pull that out their ass. Not all the time. Sometimes maybe, but not all the time, especially when it's consistent. I've always learned that if you've heard the same thing from three people or more, it's the truth. And she's given more than 3 stories where she has been the problem. So I don't think these people are just pulling it out their ass that they have a problem with you. Most certainly when you're backing it up by saying I am who I am, or this is who I am, and yes, I know my tone, and yes, I'm very strong-natured in what I believe. You're telling us all the reasons, girl, why you have set the fire and why you're walking through the fire. So what's the misunderstanding here is that you can't fathom the idea that somebody doesn't like you because you're trying to be so likable that you're forcing everything that you have and own and know on everybody, trying to convince them, to give them reasons to like you. But you won't actually do anything to earn it. You have no merit in it. You're not giving somebody a reason to say, girl, I really fuck with you. You're forcing them to fuck with you, and they don't like that. They don't like that shit. It was clear that Shannon didn't have the intellect to ask the questions that he did, says Anseld Angelo. Like I said, I think, yes, some things may go over his head. And then some things he just doesn't speak on, whether he's equipped to speak on it or not. I think some things, being in this position of a host and an entertainer, I've done street interviews where people have said shit during the balloon pop challenge. Some people have said shit. In the comments, people say shit. And you have to stay neutral. You can't sway either way, because you're going to always have an audience of left or right-winged people who are going to attack you for picking the left or the right. So you have to stay neutral. And so with him, a lot of times he's going to be neutral, where you may feel like he don't get it, or he ain't smart enough to get it. No, he's smart enough to know that this is business. And as much as I want to say, bitch, you're wrong, go ahead and have a good day, get off my set, there's so many repercussions if I do that. And so I'm going to let you have this moment, because at the end of the day, I need my check to be run. And so I applaud him. That's why I said he's not stupid. He's far from stupid. Sometimes people play stupid in order to be less of a threat. Sometimes people play stupid so they're not in combative situations. So I don't think that it's an issue of a lack of intelligence. I think he's very smart in knowing that I'm not going to cause any controversy, or the interview with you is going to be controversy. What you have to tell your story is going to be the controversial part of all of this. I don't have to argue with you. So I applaud him. I think Shannon was attempting to be presentable and professional. He appeared to be taken aback by her lashing out on him and her overall behavior towards him. Exactly, which is just what I was saying. He knew to sit back. He knew to, I'm not going to argue with her. But not only that, she tried to put him in his place so he wouldn't argue with her. Had that not been a show and they were out and about, excuse me, and they would just happen to be in the same arena having a conversation, I would believe, I'll bet some money, I'll bet your money on it, he would have shut her ass down. That he would have stopped having a conversation with her. It's not a conversation when one person is leading it, and leading it with their opinions and their opinions only, and you're not willing to listen to what the other person has to say. That's not a conversation. The official Vontae says it's good for ratings. It is good for ratings, because even now I'm talking about it, and for those of you who have not seen it, you might go watch it. So it's going to get the ratings, which is the point in why he allowed it to go all the way through. Tell us all the juice, give us all your thoughts and your stories, because people want to know. Shay Shay couldn't mentally keep up. He wasn't even keeping up. Technically, it was out of his league. I think she had him stammering. I think that's the response to what you have to say. She had him second guessing everything he said, and he was limited on what he could say, because the moment he said something that she disagreed with, she attacked him. And so what can you say to somebody when they keep calling you the aggressor as they're aggressively attacking you? What can you possibly say to somebody? You can't make them see your point of view, and they don't want to hear your point of view. So what can you do except for just shut up or leave the situation and conversation? And he couldn't leave it. So what else was he going to do but shut up? And it was cringing to watch him try to find something to relate with her on so they can get back on the same path. So the conversation can open. And after a while, it seemed like he kind of just got tired of it, and he was saying a little bit, and then she started the attack again. And so, girl, I just can't wrap my head around the type of personality she is when that camera is off. But I can completely understand why people don't fuck with her. The same reasons why niggas don't stay with everyone else. I'm not sure what that was. I'm sorry, Angelo. Suave Quan says I'm going in. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to say I'm going in, but I'm going in because she rubbed me the wrong way. Thank you, Nicholas. She rubbed me the wrong way. Let me see. Is that not like, I don't even know what that means, for the commenter, who comment what they comment. Can you run back your comment? And if you're in here for controversy, please know I block quick, so you might want to detail what it is that you're saying, because I want to give justice to your statement and a possible answer if I can, but I will reiterate with a strong must to detail what you're saying, because if you're here for controversy, you will be blocked. I think she had some valid points, and then with some points I was like, all right, girl, says Suave Quan. I do too. It was entertaining to hear her story. It was entertaining to hear her experiences because we had a chance to learn more about her. But it was the everybody's bullying me part. Everybody is bullying me. Girl, bye. Why couldn't she just have been impassioned? Shay Shay was just plain ill prepared, period. That's it. Damn. Why? What's so hard about that? Whether he was ill prepared or not, and I think that's the problem with people like you and people like her. Whether he was ill prepared or not and got his facts wrong, she's still an adult who can conduct herself like an adult and correct him in the areas where there's error. But it wasn't just limited to his error. It was her tone the entire time. It was the things she said the entire time. And I don't think you've maybe, if you have seen it, you weren't listening to her like you weren't listening to me. It was her storytelling. It was her saying over and over again how people are bullying her, when in actuality, when she explains the story a little bit deeper, a lot of the times she didn't understand that she was explaining that she was the bully. And she wasn't understanding in that moment that she was bullying him. And so that's the point that I make in plain and simple. Let me scroll through here. Bear with me just 1 second, because I feel like I saw another. Let me do that. And then scroll on down. Oh, forgive me, because I went back up to the top. Let me get back down to the bottom of the list. Make sure I got everybody's thoughts here. Amanda is combative and bitter. I don't know why the folks never saw that. Says Nico. Is it Nico Uroyal? Sorry if I'm messing that up. Same person says, and it's not due to her autism, which I'm sure she'll try to spin as well. I can't say yes or no that it's all due to her autism or not, but I know that it's crazy abrasive. And if it's a part of her being on the spectrum that she's not able to understand how prickly she comes off to people, then I get that, because that's a mental disorder and she can't help it. But other than that, and if that is what it is, then she's just not the kind of person that you can really hang around and have conversations with but for so long, because her understanding only goes but so far. And so either way you slice it, autistic or not, she lacks compassion and empathy outside of her own opinions and beliefs. She was going to use it against him, says Followmito_Kirkland. Absolutely. Absolutely. She attacked him the entire time. How does she rub you the wrong way, child? I don't even know how long I've been on this thing this whole time, but you missed it. You're going to have to watch it when I post it. She was so drawn during the interview. I ain't watch it. It was hard. After a while, I was just like, I kept rolling my eyes at the screen and saying, girl, are you, what? But I couldn't stop watching it because I wanted to make sure I really got the full scope of who she is. I haven't watched it yet. Plan on watching it. Says what you know, Joe. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to sway anyone to feel how I feel about what I saw. This is all my experience and my thoughts. You may watch it and be like, no, I think she's a strong, powerful black woman who doesn't take any nonsense. Great. Those are your feelings too. Your feelings aren't any greater, any right or left or right or wrong or any other direction of the truth or lie than my opinion as well. So have your opinion as I have my opinion. I feel like she was dumb abusive and dumb manipulative throughout the entire conversation. And she was combative and attacked him. Hand gestures, tone, attitude. The entire time that she's accusing him of doing these things to her. A fair question. What deemed bullying? I did feel she needed to calm down her voice. The bullying was the blame shifting because he didn't agree with her that he's being combative, and it's not being combative. If anything, it may, and it wasn't even, but if anything, I'll give it the word debate. And if, in fact, it was a debate, someone who's so skilled and scholared as she is, then she is far well equipped to handle a debate. But she didn't want to have a debate. She wanted to tell her version of a story the way she believed it to be. And she didn't want any objections to what she felt. Her feelings are valid, but you're having a conversation. And because you're having a conversation, the participant in the conversation is allowed to have an opinion or at least a question about what you're saying. And it doesn't disprove what you're saying or discredit or diminish anything that you're saying. Your actuality, your factuality, your reality, your experience from that situation is what you've experienced. However, you can't fault someone, persecute someone, hang someone because they're asking questions about what you're telling them. This is a moment for understanding. Help him understand your point of view. Don't force him to believe it. And then accuse him of being combative. That's how I feel like she was bullying him. I got you. They could have agreed to disagree, but she did keep banging her issue. Exactly. And that's where you understand somebody who has emotional intelligence. I'm going to say I'm emotionally intelligent. If I am having a disagreement with someone, I understand we don't have to agree. We can both have a point of view of something and be very strong and opinionated and feel very vindicated in what we feel and at our stance. You don't have to like it. I don't have to like it. So for the sake of us getting along, whatever type of relationship we're in, for the sake of getting along, for the sake of moving on, I can agree to disagree. I can see your point of view. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can agree to disagree. She would not agree to disagree, nor would she validate his thought and difference of opinion. It was all her way or no way. Amanda seems like she's gotten tired of having to defend herself for years and years. And so she's to the point where she gets upset when she identifies the same behavior she's experienced as a child, says Angelo. I can see that as well. Which is interesting because she told him to stop basing his opinions off of feelings when she did that the entire time. She projected on him the same thing she was doing the multiple times the entire time. And so, yes, I can see that having some validity. We're all traumatized and triggered. And her trauma and trigger, as she said, is that she grew up insecure. And so she, like other people I know, when you grow up insecure, you fortify yourself in other ways that brings you confidence. And knowledge has been the way that she's been able to gain her confidence. Being right about everything is how she's able to gain her confidence. It is her superpower, and she feels it's impenetrable. And so when you're saying anything, it's as if you're attacking her and her shield is up. And so now you're a perpetrator. It's not you're trying to understand. It's you're fighting me. And so let me fight back. But why? I get it. It's the trauma and it's the trigger. But if you're emotionally intelligent, like you say, highly emotionally intelligent, like you say, then at some point you have to acknowledge that you have that complexity. You have to accept that you have that complexity. And then you have to evolve from that. But she wasn't doing any of those things. And so at 40-something years old, or however old she says she is, I would like to say she should know better, but we all learn and grow and develop and mature at different ages and stages in our life. But it would be nice if before she opens her mouth to say she's emotionally intelligent and highly emotionally intelligent, that she actually act like she was. I don't know too much about Amanda, only from the childhood shows. Sorry for my previous comment. My keyboard was messing up. It's all good, Aries. But anyway, that's what I wanted to hop in here and talk about. Wherever she may be right now, I wish her the best. I have no hate for this woman. She's done nothing personally to me. She don't even know I exist. And so, again, I don't have no real beef with her. I can just honestly say I do not like her stance. I don't like the way that she communicated. I don't like her lack of understanding or compromise. I don't like the fact that she was not open-minded any further than her own understanding. I don't like that she attacked him. I don't like that she is not aware or accountable as to who she is any further than her just acknowledging the fact that she can come off rough. Within even admitting that you can come off abrasive shows that there is a lack of understanding in the way that you present. And at the point of which you apologize and say, well, my intent wasn't, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What your intent doesn't, intent versus impact. The intent may have been well, the impact was not. And at the point of which you're apologizing, but explaining it away because your intent was in the right place, shows that you lack a lot of this emotional intelligence that you claim you have. So anyway, before you jump on my bandwagon about her or jump on her bandwagon against me, go watch the Shay Shay interview. No, he has not paid me for advertisement, but if y'all want to let him know he should, then yes. Other than that, again, find out for yourself. Let me know. Comment below when you watch it. Tell me what your thoughts were. And just ready yourself, because you're going to meet people, if you have not, you're going to meet people like this woman. And you need to know all the signs of what narcissism looks like. And if for whatever reason you don't see a flaw or anything wrong within the way she conducted herself or the way she handled him during this interview, then let me be the first to tell you, you're probably the narcissist. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Go do something fun. The weather is amazing outside. So get out and enjoy it. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.